"You're such a terrible wife, so boring and useless." That's what I hear every day from my husband, Troy, and his sister, Catherine. They never stop insulting me. "Get out of this house, you worthless wife, you don't even do your chores." Even my mother-in-law, Jennifer, joined in. She yelled at me, threw salt all over me, and some even got into my mouth. It was disgusting. Then Jennifer handed me some papers. "Here you go, these are your divorce papers." It was obvious they had planned this together. I took the papers, signed them, and packed my things to leave. "Well, that's it," I said. "You should all be thankful I even stayed this long to take care of you. Hi, I'm Cynthia, a 30-year-old office worker. I've been married to Troy for 2 years. We met on a blind date. Back then, Troy worked at a small company. He was the one who showed interest in me first. He seemed kind, responsible, and hardworking, even though he was 2 years younger. I thought he'd make a good partner, so we started dating. Troy was sweet and thoughtful while we were dating. He planned our dates, treated me well, and made me feel cared for. Eventually, I fell for him, and we got married. In the beginning, everything was great. We both worked, shared the chores, and had a happy life together. For 2 years, I was genuinely happy. Then one day, Troy quit his job without telling me. "Why did you quit your job so suddenly?" I asked, shocked. "I realized I'm not cut out for office work," he said casually. "Why didn't you talk to me about this first?" "I thought you'd always support me, Cynthia." "I do support you, but big decisions like this need to be discussed." "My bad, I just wanted to quit," he said, shrugging it off. I was surprised. I didn't know he hated his job so much. For now, it was okay because I earned enough to support us, but I wanted him to find a new job soon. 2 weeks later, Troy had another surprise. "Hey, Cynthia, I'm going to open a boba tea shop," he said excitedly. "What? Are you serious? It's cheap to start, and I can rent a small space." "Troy, do you have any experience in food service, like working in a cafe or restaurant?" "Nope." "Then how will you run a boba tea shop? Without experience, it might fail, and you might lose money." "Why are you being so negative? Let me try first." "I'm not against the idea, but starting something like this without preparation or experience doesn't seem wise." "I don't care, I want to be my own boss." Troy ignored my advice and started planning the shop. I told him he'd have to do it on his own because I couldn't support an idea that felt so risky. To my surprise, Troy managed to set up the shop all on his own. He designed it, came up with a theme, and got everything ready for the grand opening. When I saw the finished shop, I was impressed. It had a cozy atmosphere, and the location wasn't bad either. For a moment, I thought maybe his idea could actually work. But reality hit quickly. The boba tea trend was no longer popular. Only a few loyal boba fans came to the shop, but there weren't enough of them to keep the business going. On top of that, Troy's lack of experience showed. He was slow at making drinks, and by the time they were served, the ice had melted, leaving the tea watery and unappealing. Because of this, the shop didn't get regular customers, any buzz, or profits. I knew that in the food service industry, it's normal to not make money in the first year, but it was clear that Troy's shop was heading for failure. I suggested he close the shop before things got worse. "I just started this business. I'm not quitting now," he said angrily. "Why can't you motivate me, Cynthia? Why are you being so negative?" When Troy got like this, he refused to listen to reason and instead took his frustration out on me. But I couldn't support his reckless idea anymore. If he didn't close the shop, we'd lose even more money and end up in debt. "Troy, can't you see this isn't working? Starting a shop without proper planning or experience was a bad idea. If you're serious about succeeding in the food industry, why not work in a cafe or restaurant first to gain some experience?" I tried to make him understand, but he refused to listen. I felt completely stuck. Then, the next day, he hit me with another shocking idea. "Let's move in with my mom," he said casually. "What? Why would we do that?" I asked. "If we live with her, we won't have to pay rent. Even if my shop makes little money, we'll be fine. Plus, Mom's been lonely since Dad passed away." "I think moving in with my mom would be a good way to take care of her," Troy said, trying to convince me. But honestly, I didn't like the idea of living with his mom, Jennifer. Jennifer had always been cold and rude to me. During holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas, whenever we visited her, she acted like she couldn't stand me. While she hadn't treated me horribly as Troy's wife, I knew living with her would be a nightmare. Troy, however, didn't back down. Besides, he added, if my income is small, we won't have to worry about rent if we move in with her. It'll save us money, and since Dad passed away, she's been living alone. I hated to admit it, but financially, his argument made sense. If he kept running his boba tea shop without a steady income, we wouldn't be able to pay our bills. So, reluctantly, I agreed to move in with Jennifer, for now. That's when my life with Jennifer began, and it didn't take long for things to go downhill. Cynthia, stop standing around and get to work, clean the house, do the laundry, and cook dinner. You're so slow, Jennifer shouted. You're the wife of a boba tea shop owner, so stop being useless and pull your weight. Her yelling started on the very first day. I already had a bad feeling about this arrangement. As for Troy, he didn't care. He acted like nothing was happening, even though it was clear I was struggling. But Jennifer wasn't the only problem. There was also Catherine, my sister-in-law. After moving in, I found out Catherine had divorced her husband and was now living with Jennifer along with her daughter, Elizabeth. One day, Catherine snapped at me, Cynthia, why is there no ice cream in the fridge? Because your daughter ate 2 of them yesterday, I replied. What? That's not the point. When you see there's no ice cream, you should go out and buy more. You're such an inconsiderate wife. Catherine and Jennifer constantly found reasons to criticize me, no matter what I did. And Troy? He just sat on the couch, scrolling through his phone, completely ignoring everything happening around him. Within just a few days of moving in, I was already at my breaking point. I soon found out that Jennifer's house still had a 35-year mortgage, and she was using my late father-in-law's inheritance and pension to pay for it. Neither Jennifer nor Catherine worked. Despite this, Jennifer demanded money from us. If you're going to live here, you need to contribute. I want $2,000 a month for living expenses, she said. This made no sense to me. Troy had told me we wouldn't have to pay rent, which was the whole reason I agreed to move in, but now Jennifer was treating us like tenants. Still, I paid her without complaining because Troy reassured me. Sales at my shop are picking up, he said confidently, just give it a little more time. I believed him and decided to wait for 3 more months. During this time, Jennifer and Catherine kept bullying me. One day, I decided to visit Troy's boba tea shop without telling him. To my shock, the shop was completely empty. I stayed and watched for a while, but no customers came. That's when I realized Troy had been lying to me. At the same time, I had a big success at work, earning a promotion. My new role required more time and energy, so I often worked overtime or started early. This left me with less time for household chores. Even though I was busier, Jennifer and Catherine refused to help around the house. Housework is the wife's job, they said. With no help, the house became messy, the laundry piled up, and dust covered the rooms. Instead of helping, they blamed me for everything. Even Troy started criticizing me. You're a terrible wife, he said, you're so boring and dull. The verbal abuse from Jennifer and Catherine got worse. One day, Jennifer grabbed a handful of salt and threw it at me. It covered my clothes, and some even got into my mouth. It was disgusting. That was the final straw for me. Despite paying rent, working hard, and doing my best, I was treated horribly. Things got even worse when they accused me of having an affair. You're just using your overtime as an excuse to see someone else, Jennifer yelled. Troy joined in, saying, Cynthia, how could you cheat on me while I'm working so hard on my business? Jennifer then handed me divorce papers that Troy had already signed. I had had enough. I signed the papers, packed my things, and left the house. As I walked out, Jennifer and Catherine smirked. Good riddance, you deserve to be alone, they said. Looking back, I regretted all the sacrifices I made for them, but as I walked away, I felt a huge sense of relief. I was finally free. As I was leaving, I turned to my in-laws and said firmly, with a hint of sarcasm, well, this is it. You all should be thanking me for taking care of you. I know you'll be in trouble without me. Good luck, you'll need it. Their eyes widened in shock, and they started making a fuss, but I didn't care. I ignored them and walked out. I filed the divorce papers right away, rented a cozy apartment for myself, and started living a peaceful life. Why didn't I do this sooner? Looking back, I regretted not leaving earlier, but now, I was finally free, and my life became calm and stress-free. Strangely, Jennifer, my ex-mother-in-law, kept trying to call me after I left. Maybe she hadn't finished bullying me, or maybe she'd realized the truth about their financial situation. Either way, I ignored her. I blocked her number, knowing that dealing with her would only bring more problems. A year passed quickly, and I moved on with my life, but one day, I got a call from an unknown number. At first, I didn't want to answer, but I thought it might be work-related, so I picked up. To my surprise, it was Jennifer. "Cynthia," she said, "finally, you answered. You blocked my old number, didn't you?" Of course, I had blocked her after all the annoying calls. "What do you want?" I asked, already exhausted by the sound of her voice. "I'll get straight to the point," she said. "We need you to come back." What are you talking about?" I asked, confused. "We're in serious trouble," Jennifer admitted. "Troy told me his boba tea shop hasn't made any profit in a year. He's been using his share of the inheritance to pay rent for the shop. That's when I realized you were the one supporting us financially this whole time." "I'm glad you've finally realized all of this. I wish you had told me sooner," I said. "Are you really going to talk to me like this now? I'm the only one you can rely on," Jennifer replied, sounding desperate. "I'm sorry, please, I won't be mean anymore. Please come back to the family," she begged. I could tell Jennifer was serious, but I couldn't bring myself to forgive her. I understood it must be hard for her to handle everything on her own, 2 grown children with no jobs, a huge mortgage to pay, and no help, but after all the mistreatment, I was done. "I'm sorry, but I will never forgive you," I replied coldly. "There's no chance we'll get back together. If you can't pay the mortgage, why not sell the house?" There was a pause before Jennifer spoke again. "Well, Troy's been in debt for a long time, so even selling the house won't cover everything." "That's not my problem," I said. "I'm divorced, and you're the one who called me worthless." "Oh," I said that in anger. "I didn't mean it. I don't care anymore. I'm a stranger to you now. You're on your own," I said, and hung up. Later, a mutual friend told me what happened to Troy and his family. They couldn't pay the mortgage and had to sell the house, but it went for much less than expected, and they were still left with a lot of debt. Troy's boba tea shop was also losing money, so they were all working part-time jobs to pay off their debts. Meanwhile, I had been promoted at work, and my salary increased. I was finally spending money on myself and living happily. Looking back, I realized Troy had always been irresponsible and immature. His sister Catherine and his mother Jennifer were even worse. I had endured too much living with that toxic family. In the end, I'm glad Troy's boba tea shop failed. He should have gained some experience before starting his own business. Now, I'm happy and peaceful, living my own life. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. See you in the next video.